India is world's largest nation and world's largest English-speaking country, yet and still when it comes to ISRO, a live stream looks like it has gotten better days, but it never has. It always seems like they're always in the past. The live streaming looks like it's stuck in the past. It never gotten any better. Like no 4K coverage, no 4K cameras, no multi-angle pad view. Why is that? When something goes wrong, the feed goes silent. I'm Bhavik Joshi, and let's cover today why ISRO deserves better. Alright, let's get started, shall we? Welcome to Bhavik Joshi channel. And as a space nerd, I also crave for the same top-tier coverage that SpaceX provides. I also wish and hope that ISRO also can, gear up and show us everything in 4K, which every Indian citizen is craving for, and I'm sure the world is also watching upon us. No multi-angle 4K coverage, no third stage, second stage, fourth stage camera, onboard cameras, and even if they have cameras, it feels like they're from like 480p or 240p, like they're having a stable, steady streaming, even though we have GSAT satellite group constellation. It's more than enough bandwidth for anything to stream in 4K. And whenever, if ever, unfortunately, something goes wrong, if anomaly occurs, the live stream goes absolutely silent. Let's explore why ISRO deserves better and how can we make every and each launch. ISRO has been known for its proud legacy. Since 1969, ISRO has achieved incredible milestones. The first PSLV C1 in 1993, putting India on the polar satellite map. Chandrayaan-1 discovering water molecules on the moon in 2008. Mangalyaan Mars orbiter mission insertion in 2014. Our first interplanetary mission accomplished on a shoestring budget. This feats deserves a live stream as polished as their engineering. And yet and still, when you compare to SpaceX or any other launch services, space agencies, our ISRO will look like it's always falling behind. So I just don't get it. Like, why can't we change that? Now, granted that if something goes wrong, it's obviously a bad thing, but being transparent and letting us know, like in real time, like what's going on, that would be really greatly appreciated, even though we know what's going on in the light telemetry. Like if we ever see a light telemetry, if it's abnormal, it's okay for them to, it shows them strength, like how strengthful they are. If they show us, and the commentators, like absolutely instead of going silent, they can really like let us know like what's going on. Even if it's a failure, it's okay to admit it, And let's explore why ISRO deserves better, How can we make every single launch a global inspiration? Shall we? The SpaceX benchmark, it's remarkable. So why can't we, keep up with them? Or I know Vikram Sarabhai has said that our ISRO has never born to have any kind of competition with anybody. Just for it's there for people of India, to provide their services. But I think it's time for ISRO and as Indian citizen to step up and speak about this. Like, we can also gear up. We have everything, whatever it takes. We have the young youth or like potential brilliant minds, capabilities. We got money and all the technical aspect we need to have a stable, inspirational 4K live streaming of every single launch. The SpaceX always has been providing since its early stages 4K pad cam, rocket cam, interstage cameras, and even on the drone strip, like they also use 4K camera angles. So And they also have a beautifully 21st century latest telemetry overlays and altitude velocity factors, engine status, stuff like that. It really makes every launch really inspirational. Like you want to see, and they will, as a space nerd, like we really crave and desire for such numbers and that kind of experience, which we really lack in ISRO Livestream. And let me say this, that I have nothing against our current administration in ISRO or the commentator or anybody in there, but the professionalism the SpaceX has, like they tell you what's going on in real time, like real launch, and that's really exceptional and really inspiring in my opinion. They got instant replays, they have slow-mo pads, highlights. Every launch feels like a prime TV show indeed. And why do I think that ISRO, really deserves and needs in this 21st century that it needs to have 4K camera and output, and also the commentary. I'm not against any such commentary, but I just have a suggestion that they should have each and every language streaming separately, because they interpret each and every telemetry details or commentary to their streaming respectively. So, and also the one thing, like whenever they're launching their rocket, like there's a launch and they barely track, like they have a, I don't know, Doordarshan camera crew or whoever it is managing right now. Like we barely get to see 20 seconds maximum of the rocket coverage, like launching from the pad. And the quality maybe recently has improved to 2080p, or I don't know. That's like, it's not really good tracking shot. Like we can obviously improve, let alone having a rocket camera. They do have a rocket camera now, but it's very like pixelated. Like you'll see 3-4 pictures showing like every 5 seconds or 2. Like it's not very smooth. We got everything. Like we got the satellites, we got broadband services. Like we have our own constellation of GSAT, so we can easily have enough bandwidth. And if we put cameras on the rocket, I'm sure we can have 4K output as well. Premium coverage matters because it will inspire our next generation. Like if they see like what's going on, they're obviously gonna be interested. Like they're seeing it happening in real time, and they're getting all the real time, real data overlays and all the footage from the Earth, like in space and everything. And it's coming from ISRO itself. So it's quite an astonishing achievement, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, in today's live streaming, whenever it's live streaming, like if something goes abnormal, like they're gonna cut off the telemetry, which is really unfortunate because we would like to see like what went wrong. Obviously, they're gonna let us know later on like what happened. But if they can be a little bit more more human-like, like in behavior, instead of just, I feel like they're just reading like from the paper, like per timing. I mean, they can take it as a constructive criticism from my side as a citizen of India, So we got resources. We know exactly what we need to do, and we know what it takes. So I think somebody has to be a little bit critical of ISRO. Like it's very popular and known for its low cost budget space program and missions with very good success rate. So we're not ditching any of that. But what I'm trying to say is, like when it comes to like rocket launches, like if you compare, or even if you don't compare, like we should at least have some standards, like some quality standards. We live in this world, like everybody is looking upon ISRO, so on India, and they're like, it's all over the place. Like we don't get to get good graphics when it's launching, and even if it's like we don't have any pad cam. No, I mean we do have pad cam, but it's like 2080p, so that also has been recently upgraded, and we do get a little bit of like separation of the spacecraft, but it's like it pixelated, like we get it frame by frame. We got the GSAT satellite constellation for India. Like we got all kind of satellites that can improve and easily give all the bandwidth that it requires to even upload in 4K, let alone 2080p. So, and when it comes to commentary or image camera, looking instead of toward the telemetry or like all the readings, like all the rocket launches, like what the rocket is made from, what is the fuel, how many stages do we have. Like we do get all that information, but not like the way I'm talking, like naturally. It's like a record, like you press it. Somebody's reading through the newspaper, literally. And I don't have any hate on any comment. So, and instead of to the cameraman, instead of showing us the faces of, with all due respect, faces of our scientists and the whole like VIPs, and like in initial launching phase, you just want to see the numbers or even the pad cam or the tracking shot. So I would urge the cameraman or the ISRO itself, like we can at least always like ISRO to step up its game, So yeah, that was it. Like it was a little, not an explainer, but like there's something I always kept inside of me. Like whenever watching a rocket launch, I was so lost. Like I also follow SpaceX, and it's just like they're on top of it. I mean, it's appreciated, and why can't ISRO can do it? It's not a big deal really if you think about it. Like it's all about the big brain and software and hardware and bandwidth and satellites constellation we need to provide such bandwidth. And we do have that. Like cost cutting, I know ISRO is known for cost cutting, but seriously, if you can invest in this, like it will attract all kinds of outside third party satellite provider who want to launch in this with ISRO, and it will inspire our next generation, the current generation. Like they can see each state separating with high 4K quality, and the commentator it's in pure English or either Hindi or whatever language they prefer to be. So basically, that's all I'm trying to say. That if you do that, like it's like a small fixes, but it will make a huge ripple effect. So that's all I wanted to say. And you guys can share this video and tag ISRO or Doordarshan cameraman or whoever, the whole department, or like just spread it out. We need this kind of a video or somebody to speak up about this, every time we launch. And one more thing, whenever we have a launch failure, like in mission, like everybody goes silent. Like we saw the telemetry is falling down or it didn't make it, or we had them. Like, can't we just admit it, like at the moment, and say, okay, this didn't go as planned. We had an anomaly. Like we will look into it and we'll get back to you on social media. Instead, they just don't say it. Like we all know, like it's okay. It's really okay, guys. Like if you have a failure in your rocket, like we understand. Like it's nothing. It's not a really bad image to say, okay, hey, we messed up. Like something bad happened. Like it shouldn't have happened, but it happened. So we're letting you know. We will let you know the further information as we go and find out. But you know what they do? They just cut off the camera. They barely show any telemetry. And when they show it and something goes abnormally, they're gonna cut it off. And they're not gonna say anything, like, which is very weird and sad to see. Like we know, everybody knows. Like why can't you just say it? I love ISRO. I love other space agencies as well. So all I'm asking or seeking, like I just want my Indian Space Research Organization to step up its game, simply. Like if I can think this way as an Indian citizen, like a normal guy who is a IT or technical nerd, like space nerd, like wants to watch and see and keep up with all the followings of the rocket launches and everything. So why can't you step up your game? That's all I'm asking or saying.